Welcome, time travelers and history buffs. Today, we're taking a trip back in time to the dawn of a new millennium. Buckle up because we've got a lot to cover. This is old news, year 2000, story 1. The world celebrates the new millennium. When the clock struck midnight on January 1st and the Y2K bug didn't end the world as we know it, people around the globe held massive celebrations to mark the occasion. There were parties, concerts, and fireworks displays galore. It was a time of hope, optimism, and looking forward to what the future held. Story 2. The Bush versus Gore election debacle. The 2000 US presidential election, a true nail-biter that went down in history. Republican George W. Bush, the governor of Texas, and Democrat Al Gore, the sitting vice president under Bill Clinton. The campaign was marked by intense debates over issues like taxes, healthcare, and education, but it's best remembered for the nail-biting conclusion. Election night on November 7, 2000, saw incredibly close results in the crucial state of Florida. Initially, it appeared that Bush had won the state's electoral votes, and with them, the presidency. But the margin was so slim that it triggered an automatic recount under Florida law. The recount process was far from smooth as it involved contentious legal battles over issues like the design of the infamous butterfly ballot and hanging chads, small pieces of partially punched-out paper on the punch card ballots. The legal battle escalated all the way to the Supreme Court, where the central issue became whether the Florida recount should continue or be halted due to concerns about its fairness and accuracy. In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court ruled 5-4 in favor of Bush, effectively ending the recount. This decision awarded Florida's electoral votes to Bush and secured his victory in the Electoral College with a margin of just 271 to 266. Al Gore conceded the election on December 13th in the interest of national unity, despite winning the popular vote by more than 500,000 ballots. The 2000 Bush versus Gore election left a lasting mark on American politics, raising questions about the electoral system, voter intent, and the role of the Supreme Court in presidential elections. It underscored the importance of every vote and the potential for razor-thin margins to determine the fate of the nation. Story 3. The dot-com boom and bust. In the late 1900s, everyone was investing in dot-coms, and IPOs were making paper millionaires overnight. The internet was hot, fueled by widespread adoption of the World Wide Web and household computer ownership increasing to around 50%, progressing from a luxury to a necessity. A decline in interest rates and the Taxpayer Relief Act of 1997 resulted in more venture capital flowing into startups and sent stocks soaring. But the party didn't last. The boom peaked and the bubble burst in March 2000, leaving a trail of bankruptcies and disillusionment in its wake. It was a harsh lesson in the dangers of get-rich-quick schemes and the importance of careful investing. Story 4. The Human Genome Project. In a major scientific breakthrough, an initial draft of the human genome was completed in June 2000, with a more refined version released in 2003. This ambitious project, launched in 1990, aimed to map and sequence the entire human genetic code. The HGP used a combination of traditional laboratory techniques and cutting-edge technologies such as DNA sequencing machines to read the nucleotide sequence of all 24 human chromosomes. The sequencing process involved breaking down the human genome into smaller, more manageable segments, sequencing those segments, and then assembling the data to create a comprehensive genome map. The project succeeded in identifying and mapping around 25,000 protein coding genes in the human genome. It had a profound impact on genetics, biology, and medical research. The project also addressed ethical, legal, and social concerns in genetic research. Since its completion, genetic research has continued to advance with the development of more efficient DNA sequencing technologies. It was a huge step forward for science and humanity, and its impact continues to be felt today. This has been old news, a year in review. In the words of Winston Churchill, those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Thanks for joining me on this trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe for more old news adventures in the years to come. And remember, even the headlines of yesterday can offer valuable insights for tomorrow. See you next time.